Okay, let's dive in. We're looking closely at just one specific day in court, using source material that one of you listeners actually shared.
Yeah, it's a report covering the proceedings for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back on June 13th, 2025.
Exactly. And our goal here, just to be clear, is really to unpack what this report says happened, what testimony, what exhibits were presented that day.
Right. We're not weighing in on the case itself, obviously, just trying to understand the information presented, based purely on this source.
So think of us as just walking you through this document, this report. It sets the scene, court starting, counsels making their introductions, the usual formalities.
And then, boom, it gets right into it. The report says the court calls a fourth masked witness.
A masked witness. And this person identified themselves as an agent of the DSS, that's the Department of State Services.
And their initial testimony, according to the source, was, well, pretty direct about Kanu.
What did they say?
Identified him as the leader of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. Said he calls for the Southeast to, break away from Nigeria. Secession.
And the report mentions the witness used the term terrorist to describe him.
It does.
Yeah.
And when asked how he knew Kanu, the witness apparently mentioned Kanu's arrest in Lagos
Okay.
and claimed Kanu incites people through Radio Biafra, which really sets the theme for a lot of what followed that day, according to this report.
Yeah, it seems like Radio Biafra became a major focus, the equipment specifically.
Definitely. The witness claimed the transmitter, the thing used for the broadcasts, was supposedly kept at someone named Benjamin Madubugu's house.
In Obelicioso, the report says.
That's the place mentioned, yeah. And this witness, he stated he was the DSS agent, actually assigned the task. Go find it, retrieve it.
And to back this up, the prosecution reportedly showed the witness the search warrant.
Right there in the witness box, yeah. The witness confirmed it, said it was in Madubugu's name, presented when they did the search at his house. Standard procedure to show legal authority for the search.
Makes sense. It's a foundational step if the search led to evidence they want to use.
And there's a little side note in the source here, kind of interesting. It mentions the judge apparently expressed some concern, or maybe a preference for secret trials when the idea of live reporting or transcripts came up.
Okay. A little glimpse into the judge's perspective on publicity there.
Yeah, just a small detail the source included. But back to the search itself. The report gets into what the witness claimed they found.
Right. At Madubugu's house, what was listed?
Okay, so inside a container, the witness testified finding 2 pump-action guns, some live bullets, 2 pistols, and cartridges.
But the source points out something a bit odd here, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It notes that when they first had Madubugu open this container, the one they call the transmitter container, they apparently only saw household items.
Just household stuff.
Initially, yeah. But then later, the witness said the transmitter itself was found in the compound. So a little unclear from the report, was it in the container or just somewhere else in the compound?
That's a detail that definitely makes you pause. A potential inconsistency flagged by the source itself.
Exactly. The witness also reportedly mentioned finding other things there, reiterated the 2 pump actions, and also Biafran currency, stuff like that.
Okay, so physical items.
Yeah.
But then they move to visual evidence.
Yeah, video. The prosecution tendered, formally offered video evidence to the court.
And this video reportedly showed the alleged transmitter and the container.
That's what the source says.
Yeah.
It was marked as an exhibit, officially part of the case evidence, and the judge admitted it, allowed it to be considered.
And they played it in court.
They did. Judge ordered it played. And the source describes the content, says it showed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu opening the container
Okay.
and talking about sending a transmitter to Nigeria for Radio Biafra. The quote included is something like, aiming for the gospel of Biafra resounding at the doorsteps of freedom lovers.
Wow. So if that video is accepted as authentic and accurate, that would seem to directly link Kanu to the equipment.
Potentially, yes. It's a significant piece, if taken at face value. After the video, the report says they moved on to a written statement.
From Benjamin Madubugu, the guy whose house was searched.
That's right. The witness confirmed getting a statement from him, and the prosecution tendered that as an exhibit too.
But the defense objected.
They did. Argued it shouldn't be allowed, because Madubugu wasn't actually co-defendant in this specific trial anymore.
Interesting point. How did the judge rule?
Overruled the objection. Let the statement in. But crucially, the source notes the judge added a caveat.
Oh.
Said something like, admitting it doesn't mean we automatically believe it's true, and the defense can still challenge the whole container and transmitter evidence later on.
Okay. So admitted, but with a note that its weight or credibility is still up for debate.
Exactly. Then the witness reportedly read out parts of this statement from Motobugru.
And what did it say, according to the report?
It allegedly said someone named Bright Chimazi moved household stuff, asked Motobugru to store this container for him, and also claimed that both Madzi and Nambikanu and Bright Chimazi came to look at the container before it was moved somewhere else. So the statement apparently ties several people to this container.
Right. So shifting from the specifics of the container and transmitter, the questioning then moved broader to the witness's view of the Southeast.
Yeah, the cross-examination reportedly went there. The witness, based on 25 years of service in the region, apparently gave his perspective.
And what was that perspective?
Claimed IPOB has made life hard for people there, citing what he called terrorist activities.
Okay, that's a strong claim. And wasn't there something notable about the court's reaction mentioned here?
Yes, this is quite striking in the report. The witness apparently claimed all IPOB members are also ESN members, that's the Eastern Security Network,
Right.
and that they enforce Kano's orders, attacking security forces, and then he specifically said especially House of Fulani.
And the reaction.
The source report explicitly states the court, quote, shamed him with a resounding laughter at that point.
Wow. Resounding laughter. That's quite a detail from the source, suggesting strong skepticism right there in the room.
It really is. It implies, at least in the source's perspective, that claim was maybe seen as over-the-top or unfounded by those present.
Did the witness continue after that?
Oh, yeah. Reportedly went on to claim Kanu issues instructions, especially around Biafra Day, May 30th, using Radio Biafra, issues threats. Members attack government agencies.
How do they know this?
He stated the DSS listens to all Kanu's broadcasts. They have facilities for monitoring.
And how did he describe identifying ESN?
Said they move in large numbers, engage in guerrilla warfare.
Okay, so testimony, physical evidence, video, then they went to audio, Kanu's broadcasts themselves.
Correct. The prosecution asked to play a broadcast from Mazi Nandi Kanu, dated May 29, 2021.
And this was played in court.
Yes, inserted, played, marked as an exhibit like the others. The prosecution apparently wanted to use it to show Kanu giving orders to attack people, government officials.
But didn't the source say they stopped playing it?
It did. Interestingly, the lead prosecutor, Sansa Womolo, the senior advocate of Nigeria, a top rank, reportedly stopped the playback midway.
Any reason given in the report?
The source itself kind of speculates. It asks, was it to save time, or maybe they felt it wasn't quite landing legally, lacked grounds, it's left hanging, really.
Ambiguous. But did the witness connect this broadcast to anything specific?
Yes, right after, the witness reportedly linked that May 29th broadcast to the killing of Ahmed Gulak, a politician.
How so?
Claimed Gulak was killed on Monday, May 31st, 2021. He positioned this as happening right after the May 29th broadcast, which was just before Biafra Day on the 30th, trying to establish a timeline, a cause and effect.
I see. A direct attempt to link the broadcast to a specific death. The witness also commented on the sit-at-home policy?
Yeah, reportedly stated it's still effective in the Southeast, still being observed.
Okay. Then the focus shifted again to someone named Ikonso.
The witness reportedly described Ikonso as one of the feared members of IPOB ESN.
And they played another broadcast.
Apparently so. An emergency broadcast from Kanu, this one dated April 28, 2021. The source suggests the prosecution played this to, quote, buttress their ploy on Ikonso being the masterminder of Imo Correctional Center attack.
So using Kanu's own words against him, supposedly. Was this broadcast related to Ikonso's death?
Yes, the source says it was presented as Kanu speaking in memory of Ikonso after Ikonso had been killed.
And what did Kanu allegedly say in this broadcast? The source quotes some parts.
It does. Reportedly, Kanu claimed Ikonso wasn't killed in battle, but actually in his father's house while sleeping.
Okay.
He apparently compared the situation to, like, the new governor being chased by herdsmen, questioning why security forces targeted Ikonso instead, called Ikonso a gallant hero.
So defending Ikonso, but was there more? Something about the Imo State governor?
Yes, a key claim reported from that broadcast. Kanu allegedly said Governor Hope Uzodinma had approached Ikonso, wanted him to manage Ibube Agu, the regional security outfit, but Ikonso refused. The source quotes Kanu as saying Ikonso spat at his offers, and Kanu allegedly claimed that refusal was why Ikonso was killed.
Wow, that's a huge allegation reportedly made in that broadcast, a direct accusation against the governor as the motive.
A very serious claim, yes, presented as coming from Kanu himself via this recording, played in court. according to the source.
Okay, so after all that witness testimony, search evidence, video, audio broadcast, there was still more.
One more significant piece, yeah. And this one comes with quite a bit of commentary from the source report itself.
All right, what was it?
The prosecution reportedly read out an alleged written statement.
Okay, another statement. From whom?
Attributed to a Mr. Uzoma Benjamin, who apparently has the nickname Onyormi.
Onyormi. And what did this statement supposedly say?
The prosecution read, IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered me to eliminate 1,000 people, but I succeeded in taking down only 30.
1,000 people. That's an extraordinary claim. But you said the source report added commentary.
It did, and it's pretty strong commentary. The source report flat out states that this Onyormi person has, quote, no link with ESN or IPOB.
No link.
That's what the source asserts. It goes further, saying he actually works for the government, calls him a criminal, and describes the story read out in the statement as concocted, fabricated.
So let me get this straight. The prosecution presents a statement with these incredibly severe allegations.
Yeah.
But the source material we're using immediately flags the person and the statement itself as potentially completely bogus, even alleging government ties and fabrication.
That's exactly what the report conveys. It's presenting the evidence and simultaneously casting serious doubt on its authenticity based on its own stated information about Onyormi. The source also adds a note that this Onyormi is, quote, presumed to be in their custody.
Right. So you have the official court record, or what's being presented as such, and then this layer of analysis or counter-information right within the source document. That's complex.
Very. It highlights how different narratives can exist around the same event or piece of evidence.
So after that statement was read, what happened? Did the day wrap up?
Pretty much. The report says the court took an hour's break.
Okay.
And when they came back, they stopped proceedings for the day.
Just stopped.
Yep. And then announced the adjournment.
Yeah.
Pushed the case to future dates.
Which were?
June 16th, 18th, and 19th, 2025. So confirming 3 more days were scheduled back then to continue the trial.
Okay, so recapping this one day, June 13th, based on this listener's source material, we heard about the masked DSS witness laying out the prosecution's case.
Claims about Kanu, IPOB, ESN, Radio Biafra.
We saw different kinds of evidence presented, or reportedly presented. Guns, currency from the search.
The video allegedly showing Kanu with the transmitter container.
The written statement from Madibugwu admitted over objections.
And that highly contested statement attributed to Onyormi.
Plus the audio broadcast Kanu allegedly talking about Akonso, another broadcast linked to Gulak's death but cut short.
It's a lot for one day. And it's crucial, like we said, to remember this is just the prosecution side being presented on this day as filtered through this specific report.
Yeah, absolutely. It really highlights the mix of evidence types. Courts grapple with witness accounts, physical objects, documents, recordings, and how interpretation, context, and potential challenges are layered onto everything.
Especially when the source document itself includes commentary questioning some of the evidence, like with the Onyormi statement, or noting the laughter about the Hassa Fulani comment.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How does a court ultimately weigh sworn testimony against, say, a recorded broadcast, or a written statement whose author is immediately questioned by an observer?
And what about those inconsistencies, like where exactly the transmitter was found, or why one broadcast was stopped early? These are the kinds of details the defense would likely seize upon later.
Definitely questions to ponder. And with those 3 adjournment dates mentioned, it underscores that this single day, intense as it sounds from the report, was just one part of a